Welcome to Common Man Cocktails. I'm your host, Eric Schomer. Today we're going to show you how to make the Espresso Gin Martini. So, like, no vodka, all gin. You can make this with vodka if you want to. Everybody's done that. It's whatever. But I'm kind of on the fence. It's like February, so I'm already thinking it's spring because, like, March might as well be spring here in New England. I hate winter, so we're getting there. So I'm thinking, like, cocktail, but also coffee because I love coffee and it's warming to the soul. This drink, however, is going to use espresso that's already been cooled, sort of cooled. I'll add some ice, some cooled espresso. Here's the recipe breakdown. If you want to make it with me, you want to make it alongside what I'm doing. If you're that fast, because I'm going to do some jump cuts, or if you just want to know what the recipe is for later, like when you get out of work. So I'm going to post this at like 4:30 Eastern time. Y'all shouldn't be drinking yet. 1.5 ounces of gin, an ounce of Kahlua or Coffee Liqueur. I'm going to use Campari because I don't have Kahlua right now. And Campari is sweet enough to match Kahlua. It's almost like pancake syrup flavor to it. The Cold Espresso, we're going to do an ounce of Irish cream. You could use Bailey's if you want to. I'm going to use Five Farms Country Cork, Ireland's. It's been in my refrigerator. I use it when I run out of cream, sometimes in the morning for my coffee or whatever. And a half ounce of simple syrup. For that, I'm going to use some Liber & Co. gum syrup, classic gum syrup. You could use whatever. I like the Liber & Co. because if I make it and I don't use it right away, it lasts a couple weeks. I don't bother always with vodka in it, yada, yada. So tip for you, if you're making simple syrup, add like a half ounce of vodka to like an 8-ounce bottle of simple syrup. It'll last longer in the fridge, maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever. Double your recipe, make a rich simple syrup, 2 to 1. It'll last even longer. You probably get like 6 months out of it with you put some vodka in there and stuff, but that's for a different video. Here is the Gin Espresso Martini. Espresso Gin Martini. We're going to shake it, strain it. I need all that stuff. I got the jigger, shaker tin. Go to awesomedrinks.com. Get yourself bartender starter kit. Link below. You start with the cheapest ingredient first. That way, if you screw something up, you have to dump it. You don't lose the expensive stuff. So that seems like I should do a half ounce of simple syrup. Damn refrigerator making noises. God, I'm going to have to put on a filter. Less editing, better editing. We'll go with the Campari. Oh, should have tested this ahead of time. Lesson. Always wipe off the cap before you put it back on. One of the things I kind of liked about this recipe breakdown was because the measurements were fairly straightforward. Although I think the original one was in milliliters. It kind of caused, I'm not doing the little thing I just had to do. It kind of caused a kind of a weird ounce structure. It was like 1.6 ounces of gin. I just brought it down to 1.5. Fancy bottle, kind of a pain in the butt. Cool Swan, if you're watching, you can send me some product. I mean, I could buy it, but I mean, I have a YouTube channel. So I only get like 300 views. Whatever. Ounce and a half gin. Just do this one twice since I don't feel like flipping this over. Ounce. Half. Now, what I didn't think of is I needed an ounce of espresso, and it's in here, which is really hard to pour. So this is going to get bad real fast. You know what? There are times that I don't mind looking like an idiot for the views. However, I do have to clean this, so I'm just going to be rational about this. 1 ounce. Looks like my espresso is about a 2 ounce ice. Also, while we're here, I'll add ice to this and a little bit of water to like let it bring the glass temperature down so that it's cold and it doesn't ruin my iciness. It's like iced coffee in New England, like an ice cold Dunks, French vanilla, 1-in-1, large, perfect. A little watery, but whatever. I'm going to shake this for like 12 seconds until it gets cold, 15, depends, whatever. If your espresso's been hot, probably want to do it a little longer. All right, she's cold. Whew. Also, for garnishes, I'm just going to do 3 beans. Now, well, these guys neither of these two brands are not sponsors per se, meaning they wouldn't give me money and I spend money there. I would suggest if you're into coffee like I am, I like to use Thanksgiving coffee. These guys are cool. ThanksgivingCoffee.com. They do like fair trade coffees. They do some flavored coffees, very subtle flavors. Like this is the Dutch chocolate. So this espresso is going to have a little bit more of a chocolatey flavor than you might get if you're doing like a strong dark roast like the Black Rifle, which I use. I'm a member for both these companies, so I get coffee like every month from these guys. I think this is like every 2 months for this one. Also, I have over here, you can't see it, but my father makes a coffee stout and like a clarified coffee stout, and we used like 4 of these. It was crazy expensive, but definitely worth it. If you like a dark roast beanie coffee, I would go with one of these 2 brands or both of them like I do. Thanksgiving Coffee, I've been a subscriber for, I don't know, like 20 years at this point. Black Rifle, probably like 4 years, veteran owned. So if you're into supporting veterans, and I think it's also veteran run. And then these guys have a great selection of coffee for fair trade all over the world. It's pretty awesome. So dump this out. I'm using a larger coupe. You could use a martini glass if you want to. And this is a bigger drink, so you're going to get more out of it, which personally, I could have done a double strain on this to get rid of the little icicles. But personally, I tend to drink espresso martinis pretty quick. So I like the larger volumes. I don't have to make 2 of them. And it's harder work to make 2 back to back rather than just making one larger one. Now, I don't know if this is going to work because the foam isn't as high since I kind of left it there for a few seconds. But no, they're floating on top. Throw 3 beans in there because you don't want 2. You know what? I'm going to take a picture for you guys so you can see it. I'll put it on the thumbnail and all that. And this, my friends, is the Gin Espresso Martini. Cheers. Let's try it out. Ooh, smell. Oh, it has like, it's the Irish cream. I get like that creamy chocolatey smell. And even though this has a little bit of chocolate to it, it's an espresso. Thanksgiving coffee it's not like a massive sweet coffee like Green Mountain. There's no bitterness either, so that helps. But the definite taste of the Irish cream comes through. And the funny thing is when you add Irish cream to coffee, probably because it's hot, but when you add Irish cream to coffee, it tends to get a little bit more booziness. It's like a milkshake in flavor. It's got like that little chocolatey, sweeter, a little bit of maybe the pancake action from some of this. Like definitely has like that breakfast quality to it. Yet it's cold and it's got some alcohol going on. I don't get any real alcohol burn. I don't get a lot of juniper, from London Dries and products like this. Some London Dries, big fan. Definitely going to be a little bit more defined character. And by defined character, I mean like juniper into your face. This doesn't give me as much. I was a little afraid that the floral gin flavor profile, like corianders and like those herbal qualities were going to dominate and kind of ruin the drink, or at least distract from the drink. It tastes like a coffee milkshake. Like it's just got enough sweetness to it. And just that nice beaniness to it. Now, if you wanted to bring a little bit out and not have so much sweetness, you could probably have used Mr. Black instead of the Kapali or the Kahlua. You could go with more like if you're in the New England area, you can get the Rumson's Coffee Liqueur. And most coffee liqueurs are just a rum and coffee blend. So with sugar, so everything good that you can want. I'm a big fan of this, although I'm curious on how much different it would be as a vodka drink. I think maybe a little bit more ethanol on the back end, maybe from the sweetness. Might not have as much character to it. There is a little bit, there is a little bit of gin kind of when you breathe out, like that little alcohol burn you kind of get when you exhale after taking a sip. It's not off-putting at all. So gin definitely works in the martini with coffee, the espresso version of the martini. From now on, I think I'm going to have to throw this in my recipe book and use this instead of vodka just because I shit on vodka so much. I want to be consistent, if that matters. So we're hopefully going to do a live stream soon. Let me see if Dan got back to me. Dan has not got back to me yet. So maybe this Friday, maybe a couple Fridays from now. I don't know. We'll be doing one soon. But until then, I'll keep looking for some cool cocktails for you guys. Although I'll still look for cool cocktails when we're doing the live stream anyway. So nothing really changes except for the loudness. That's it. AwesomeDrinks.com. Get yourself some bartender starter kits, shakers, stuff like that, bitters. We're teaching you how to drink.